Good afternoon. A bit of a partly cloudy one today, and I wanted to chat about um, what I would consider to be a mistake that I made last night. So I'll explain why I think it's a mistake because maybe some people would not consider this to be a mistake. But anyway, so I'm last night after dinner, I had just cleaned up. It was seven. I literally looked at my phone. It was 7:47, and the schedule or the routine that I've been kind of working with or trying to get back into has been after 8 o'clock, put the phone away or put the laptop away, and then like do something not on the phone basically. And then at 8:30, start the sleep bedtime routine. That's what I'm trying to get back to. And so I'm like, all right, it's 7:47. I have 13 minutes. And my brain gives me the idea of, oh, well, I have some time left. I've done everything else that I need to do. Why don't I open the laptop and get something productive done? I'll do my budget for the week, or not for the week, but just catch up on my budget. And so I'm like, cool, sounds like a great idea. And then I literally think of the idea, oh, but I have a rule that I'm not supposed to work on my laptop after dinner, which I came up with in Bali last year, probably December 2023, November, December. And I just dismissed the idea. I was like, nah, I can get it done. So I do my budget and I finish at 7:59. But at this point, I'm in, I've context switched to budgeting and finances. And so I'm like, well, let me check my projections and tweak some things and improve some things in my budget spreadsheet. And sure enough, 8 o'clock rolls around, and then 8:15 or 8:10 rolls around, and then the what would you call it? Like the internal tension or conflict starts to arise of I'm doing something that I shouldn't be doing. I said that after 8, no laptop, no phone, and I want to finish this. I have like 5 pages left of this book that I've been reading, and so I want to finish it. And so there's this tension of I'm doing one thing, I'm context switch, I'm in it, but I'm looking at the time and I'm like, but I should not be doing it. But there's this uh, attention residue, this barrier towards finishing because like my brain is in the context. So anyway, ends up being 8:30, and then 8:40, I think. It was about 8:45 when I finally stopped, and I was like, all right, I'm going to bed. um, the reason I would call that a mistake is because of that tension, saying one thing and doing another thing. Now, obviously, I have to take that into, or I have to take the broader broader picture in mind that like going to bed at or starting my bedtime routine at 8:45 is not the worst thing in the world. But I'm on this I almost said journey. I'm trying to get more intentional about my routine again and getting back to stricter, more intentional routines where I'm, actually prioritizing my sleep more. And so anyway, it was an interesting learning moment. Going back to, I probably should have looked this up beforehand, but I there was a video that I made in Bali. I think it was probably in December 2023. I think I think it was the one called something like I got called out for not working out yesterday. Um, and I think it was that one when I made that rule of like, okay, because the same thing happened. It was like, oh, it's 7:30. I'll just open the laptop, do a little bit of work, close the laptop at 8, and then we'll be good. But it never happens. It never ends up that way. And in that moment, it was the same thing. It was like 7:30, then 8, then 8:30, 8:45, whatever. And so I think, like, what is the solution to this? Because in one regard, we could say that I should be stricter on the rule of not working on my laptop after dinner. But then that presents the question of, okay, well, what do I do in the meantime? What do I do instead? And maybe the other way to think about this, or the other way to come up with a good solution, is to come up with better alternatives that are more enticing than whatever that thing was that I was trying to do or that I want to do when it's 7:47 p.m. and I have 13 minutes left. And so the obvious best answer right now for me is reading. The problem with that is that I have not felt as intrinsically motivated to read. It kind of feels like a uphill battle sometimes, and I'm still trying to figure that out because I would love to be able to. I'm trying to think about how to phrase this. I think I would love the outcome of being a person that just constantly reads, is always reading, learning new things, and has knowledge to pull from and connecting different ideas and learning from history in the past and growing from from people in the present. But I haven't quite connected those two things together, wanting that outcome and actually doing the work. So reading is one, journaling is another one that came up. I don't frequently journal, um, like physically. I do journal every night and have been for, oh boy, here we go, 2017, the past 7 years. I've journaled literally every night. Um, so that helps, but maybe the sporadic journaling. I think right now the focus right now for me is recentering my focus, and maybe not dopamine, but it's like just I've been going on these walks after lunch and listening to podcasts, and the shift that I've been trying to make is learning to enjoy watching or listening to something interesting and educational and long form rather than more entertainment based videos. I'm trying to make that shift again, and it's taken a little bit of time and intentionality. And so I think in the same regard, I'm trying to make that shift with getting off of the phone and getting into picking up the book and reading for 20, 30, 40 minutes, whatever it is, or just doing something, you know, present. So anyway, I think that's all that's top of mind right now. Meditation could be another one. Reading, journaling, meditation, doing dishes. One thing I will mention, which I don't know, I don't know how this could have any value to anyone watching this, but I've found that kind of on that same topic of recentering my focus, I have been I've been finding myself. This is so niche. This is so weird. After dinner, so I do all of my own dishes. Obviously, I don't have a dishwasher. They should make a dishwasher for Vance. I would buy one. Um, Sometimes when I make like a bigger meal with a couple, the two pots with the or the two pans with the pot and the extra dish and then like sometimes a lot of dishes to do and it can be overwhelming sometimes. And so I've been finding in the past couple days that I will finish cooking and then immediately start cleaning up some of the dishes because that's when it's easiest to clean when the food hasn't gotten dried up on the spoon or whatever. Um, and so sometimes I'm like 75% done with dishes before I've even like picked up the bowl of food that I made for dinner and started eating it. And it's been going really well because it's easier to do the dishes immediately right after, and then I can eat and not have to come back and be overwhelmed with like, oh my god, all right, I got to figure out how to do all these dishes, you know? So, in that, doing well. Maybe there's a lesson in there. It's like what they call it, the 2 minute rule, 5 second rule. Like when you think about something, do it immediately. There's some lesson in there. It's easier to do stuff immediately than let it pile up. Maybe that's not broadly applicable, but getting too into the weeds. I'll call it there. So anyway, that was my video. Um, the mistake that I made last night, going against my word, trying to get back into a routine, but also for some reason had decided that I could do my budget in 13 minutes and properly disconnect after that. And thinking through the ideas of how do you solve for that? Is it do you make the rule stricter? Do you make the alternative more attractive? Combination of both? What are the alternatives? And how can I make those alternatives even more interesting and attractive to do? So, see you tomorrow.